because we need the most help. Charity starts at home. And so therefore, I make no apologies about being for black people. I make no apologies about saying a black man has no business being with another woman, Ime Udoka and TJ Holmes. I make no apologies about that because we got to save ourselves.
What's your thoughts on that? Since
let's go to Jerry. Let's stop you speeding now. Let's go to Jerry Jones first. And by the way, what Dr. Umar is saying, other communities say that and nobody has a problem with it.
Nobody says nothing. Yeah. Nobody says nothing.
Okay.
Ime Udoka and TJ Holmes. First of all, what they did was wrong. You had no business having relations with another man's wife if, in fact, those women were married. It's wrong.
That's where he should have stopped it at. That's where he should have left it off at. Look, it's wrong. Cheating on a woman while she's still married, blah, 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 it's wrong. That's where he should have left it at. But no. What's about to come out of his mouth? Some more dumb shit.
Husband, white, black, purple is wrong. Adultery is wrong. But it's even more wrong because you chose to go.
It's more wrong.
Outside your community and do it. It's even more wrong because you chose to go into the white power structure and do it. They were not chastised because they committed adultery. Celebrities do it all the time. They were not chastised for that. They were chastised because they failed to keep in mind that black men get the white women that other white men genuinely do not want. You don't.
False. False. Heavy false.
Get the top of the line white women. You don't. You get leftovers. Look at most of our celebrities. They did not marry women who came from the richest white families. Black money and white money don't behave the same. No.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing. Please tell me, Umar Johnson, what is the definition of black money and what is the definition of white money? Please.
New black money and old white money have two totally different personalities. New black money will jump on any poor white girl and make her a billionaire, Tiger Woods. Rich white money doesn't operate that way, you see. The sin of Ime Udoka and the sin of TJ Holmes is you had an affair with a white man's wife. This is a desirable white woman. Somebody loves her and is married to her, and you had the audacity to take her away from her husband being a Negro.
Here we go. Here we go. I told you guys that the circus was starting, and he's coming in hot. Pause.
That's why they had to be sat down. And if I could speak with Ime Udoka, I would have to ask him. On top of all that, you chose a woman from the Mormon church. Her family is Mormon. The Mormons historically are one of the most racist denominations of the Christian religion. Did you know they did not ordain black ministers until 1978? Their most famous leader, Brigham Young, he said the devil was black, and he also justified the enslavement of African people by way of the curse of Canaan. Ham was cursed for uncovering his father's nakedness, and as a result of that curse be the firstborn, Canaan. So the Mormon church and Brigham Young and their other leaders said that black people's skin was black and our hair was nappy because of the curse of Canaan, and that justified our enslavement.
You think he thought about it that deep, or he was just probably hitting something? I don't think he was thinking about it that deep.
But here's my point.
Thank you, Charlamagne. Thank you. Do you not think that maybe this TJ Holmes and Ojuka guy just wanted some pussy? That's what I think. I think, look, they were like, hey, look, what any other man thinks whenever a man does go outside of his marriage or cheats with the woman and the woman's married. I mean, it's common fucking sense, Umar. But as you can see, he's like, I'm going to let you finish, but you expose me right now, Shaw.
If you're going to sleep with a white woman, you don't go to the KKK and get one. You see?
This is stupid, man. Look, I have no say-so on the whole Mormon thing because I just don't know. I don't know that whole story. I don't know what Mormons are about. I can't speak on that. But to kind of say that they're the KKK fam, I don't know if that's going to sit too well, man. I'm surprised a lot of people did. But, again, most people don't know who fucking Umar Johnson is anyways. Thankfully. For him to really get a rise out of anybody for saying some dumb shit like he just said on The Breakfast Club. Which is like the home of dumb shit being said. By niggas. And white people too. But mostly by niggas.
Look at the other brother, Everett, the young basketball player from Louisiana State University. June of this year, he visited his white girlfriend in Boise, Idaho. She takes him to a Mormon wedding. She should know better. They didn't let him in because he's black. Then he goes white water rafting with the snow bunny and 3 friends. They fall off the raft. Now, he's an athlete, 6 foot, whatever. She's a white girl. She survives. He dies. Nobody looks for his body. It was a stranger who called the police and said he was missing. He turned up dead a couple days later. Another Mormon. Why did his parents let him go visit a white girl in Boise, Idaho?
So now what he's doing is he's now victim shaming. And look, man, I hate using that term, victim shaming. I really do. I hate using that term. My skin crawls even fucking saying it. But that's what he's doing. I don't have a better quote or phrase for what it is, what he's doing right now, except for fucking victim shaming and saying that he shouldn't have been. It's his fault. He shouldn't have been dating a white woman, and he shouldn't have been dating a chick that was one he should have known. She should have known. It's like, fam. That's a whole nother rabbit hole that I don't even know if I even want to get into at this point. But just based off my own experience, and I do have personal experience with certain situations that he's talking about, and I can tell you right now, fam, like it's again an individual thing. I make that decision. The girl makes that decision. It has nothing to do with anybody's parents. How are you going to fault the man's parents for letting him date a chick, date who he wants to, date someone who he has chemistry with, someone who he likes, someone who likes him enough to take him with her? Now, I don't know her whole motive or whatever the fuck. It could have been some weird shit. But for you to sit up here and to say that with zero evidence, just that he was black and he was an athlete and he was dating a white chick and he couldn't get to a wedding, it writes itself.
And why are you going to a Mormon wedding? And Ime Udoka, why are you sleeping with a Mormon woman? When you look at the history of the Mormon people, I'm not saying everyone, but structurally and systematically, they have been against black folks. So my goodness, if you're going to do it, find a liberal or something. You don't get a Mormon. It's absolutely ridiculous that they...
Can I call him a troll at this point? Can I call Dr. Umar a troll at this point? No? Okay, I just want to make sure.
They did that, but they were wrong in what they were doing, but they're being punished not for adultery. They're being punished for being black men sleeping with white women.
With TJ Holmes, I think that they about to demonize him in a real way. Like, they even already put out a story that he was having multiple affairs.
So they're going to get him.
Yeah.
You are not allowed to touch the white women that white men have claimed or considered to be marriage worthy. You get the leftovers. Our athletes, our celebrities, they all got leftovers.
What is his definition of, first of all, what is his definition of leftovers and unwanted white woman? Like, what is his definition of that? Women that go outside of their race to date? What the fuck is he talking about leftovers? That's what I want to know.
They do not get top of the crop white girls. And Ime Udoka and TJ Holmes made a mistake of messing with women, white women who were untouchable, made untouchable by white males.
So top of the crop white women is what,
married,
financial status, or just women that are married?
Bloodline.
Okay.
You have to come from one of them families with them names. It could also be financial as well. You follow what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But white men determine who those women are. And it's normally a mix of income, status, and bloodline, as well as occupation. You follow what I'm saying? They're not poor. They don't come from poor means. They're not first-generation millionaires. You understand? Black men don't generally get those women. And married white women are automatically included in that by virtue that they've been claimed by a white man.
I want to ask you something, Dr. Umar. For you, have you ever seen an interracial relationship that was acceptable to you?
No interracial relationship is acceptable because we have too many black women who are unmarried.
Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, this one might get me in trouble, man. Oh my God. This one might get me in trouble, man. Should I even say anything about this? Should I even open my mouth about this? Jesus Christ.
Women are the largest population on the planet Earth. If you can't find one in America, get it from Africa. If you can't get it from Africa, go to the Caribbean, go to Canada, go to Europe. Why would a black man need to copulate, build a family with anything other than a black woman when you have so many black women available? It is.
He's a troll, man. Umar Johnson has to be a fucking troll at this point. There's no way he's serious about this. I've always lived my life by this. Doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what race you are. Doesn't even matter what kind of family you come from. All that matters is if you have chemistry with that other person. Doesn't matter what their race is. What culture they come, what culture, their background, or whatever the fuck. In the beginning, at least when it comes to me, all I care about is what I see when I first lay eyes on you, and if we have chemistry, and then we go from there. So where the fuck is he coming from with all this? Any interracial relationship is unacceptable when you have so many available black women.
An exercise in self-hatred. There's no way to get around it.
Do you think Kanye West, if he had a black woman, things would be different?
Oh, absolutely. I think.
Actually, I think things would be different, but not because he's with a black woman. I think things with Kanye would be different because he's with anybody but the Kardashian family. But that was done on purpose. It's just they just so happen to have 3 or 4 kids together, which is once you reproduce and once you bring kids into it and you bring in human lives into it, it's just that to me is where it crosses the line. I mean, yeah, you could say marriage crosses the line too because they went as far as getting married for this circus show. But I think the lines got crossed really bad when they started having kids together because we knew it was not going to last. Terrible situation, man. Terrible situation. But yeah, I agree to a certain extent. It would be different if Kanye was married to anyone other than a Kardashian. Period.
Kim Kardashian used him. And the fact that they're making that man pay $200,000 a month in child support when both he and the wife are billionaires are absolutely ridiculous. I think they want to break him. And although I don't agree with the way in which Kanye articulated some of his thoughts, I appreciate the fact that he was the first black man since Michael Jackson to speak truth to power, to specifically identify certain communities of Europeans who have exploited gangster rap, black entertainers, and other people since its inception, and nobody has called them out. He's the first to do it since Michael Jackson. But when Michael did it, he wasn't in his prime. Kanye did it in his prime.
I can't give Kanye no respect because I've never seen a black man seek more white validation than Kanye was.
Well, that's the issue.
That is one of the most self-hating black men on the planet.
Kanye is not choosing a side. One day, it's about saving our people. The next day, you want to date with another snow bunny. One day, it's about helping the oppressed. The next day, you're campaigning for Donald Trump. One day, it's about being independent.
Again, not liking. I don't know. I'm not even saying that they don't like Kanye, but with their disagreement and Kanye and the way he does things, I agree with them. I just don't agree with their reasoning for it. You know what I mean? So yeah, like I completely agree. Like he's off the deep end, especially now. First of all, now do I agree that Kanye he's just the wrong messenger? He's the wrong guy. He's off the wall. The stuff that he says is completely outrageous. Yes, but again. There's somewhere in the lining where he is right in a lot of the things that he speaks on. But yeah, he's definitely not the right spokesperson for anything.
The next day, I'm hearing about you going into business with some white man. Make up your mind. I think Kanye is trying to figure out where he is, But he got to make up his mind because you're too helter-skelter. And at this point, I'm going to be honest with you. Although I appreciate Kanye's honesty, I think most of his agenda is about Kanye. And I'm going to say that because when I look at our black billionaire class, whether it's Kanye, whether it's Oprah, whether it's Jay-Z,
he's not in that class
whether it's Tyler Perry, even if he's no longer in that class, none of them, LeBron, Puffy, none of them have built an independent black institution for the black community anywhere in this country. Not one.
How many lashes would Kanye get?
Kanye would probably get, I'm still working on Kanye lash count because I want to see where he ends up. I need him to make up his mind and then stay there.
Okay.
And I need him to be a little bit more articulate with what he says because although I think Kanye is on the right track, he's not articulating himself well enough. He's not controlling his public narrative. So when I do interviews like this or any interview, I go out of my way to be careful with my wording so nobody can try to use it against me later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's not been careful with his fucking wording, nor is he even careful with his thoughts and the way he preaches to people.
You have to try to control your narrative.
Before you get your words right, you need to get your ideology right first. Just putting a word out there for you. Just helping you out, fam.
And he will get on a platform and say some things that he may not even believe just for the shock value. And you're now giving the media the opportunity to brand you something that you are not.
That's even worse to me, though. If you don't even have no real intention or you don't even know what the hell you're saying, that's so anti-intellectual.
Well, the issue is Kanye, I think he's very brilliant, but I also think he's dealing with some unaddressed mental health issues as well.
That is true. That is true. You said none of them have built institutions.
And also think about what the dude's going through too. Dude's going through a divorce. He's going through losing his kids. He's going through a lot of shit. But at the same time, fam, you can't be saying the shit you saying. And on top of that, you can't be acting the way you're acting, walking around with a mask on now. It's just, like he's too far going, man. He's too far going. He's lost in the sauce, unfortunately.
And I would not put him on the same level as a Kyrie Irving. Because I believe Kyrie is 100% genuine in his thinking. I think he's very thought out, and I think Kyrie does a good job of controlling his narrative. And I think that community that tried to destroy him.
Let's get one thing straight. Kyrie was good for about 5 minutes. He was good with us there for about 5 minutes.
Could be accused of being hypocritical because Jeff Bezos, the $139 billion owner of Amazon, has just issued a statement a few days ago. They're not removing the DVD.
Oh no, that wasn't Jeff Bezos. That was the current CEO of Amazon.
Okay, but Jeff Bezos is still the owner, isn't he?
He's got a percentage in it, but it was the person who made that statement was the current CEO of Amazon.
Current CEO, Jeff Bezos, whoever. Amazon is not pulling a DVD. They have not been accused of being anti-Semitic. They have not been accused of being racist. They have not been accused of being a hate monger of any other people. So if Kyrie can be accused of all that for sharing a video that he was not in, how is it that Amazon gets none of the smoke when they said they're not going to pull the video?
Smoke. They've been getting smoke.
Jonathan Black was up.
Jonathan Greenblatt
was here yesterday, and I asked him that same question.
What he said?
And he said they have been giving him the smoke.
What's the smoke they gave?
They wrote him letters, the same thing they did to
They wrote him a
everybody
letter. But they tried to destroy Kyrie's career, not no damn letter.
But they also said that it's illegal in what state? In Germany?
In Germany. That's a country. In Germany.
The country to actually have that.
I guess so in Germany.
Because of the denazification of Germany. I forgot how he worded it. I think he was saying that
But Amazon is global. That's one country.
Yeah, that's why.
So because they can't sell it in Germany, it's acceptable.
They don't want it up, period.
But where is the media campaign by them to crucify Amazon the way they crucified Kyrie for sharing the video that Amazon is making millions of dollars off?
I will say
that's hypocritical.
I will say this, Dr. Umar. I feel like sometimes
we can't be selective moralists,
I'm
Charlamagne.
with you, but I think sometimes we, as in black people on social media, make these stories bigger. Because if we wanted, like the Brett Favre situation, Amazon, if we talked about those situations like we talk about other things, we would create those campaigns.
But the white media made Kyrie's situation an issue. So if you're going to make it an issue for Kyrie, white media, make it an issue for Amazon, white media.
I mean, the white media did report on it when the ADL report.
It didn't get the same energy.
No, it didn't get the
I
same
think
It
that's
did
because
not get the same
I
energy.
really think
It's a double standard.
I think that's because of what we talk about.
And
I really do
anybody,
feel that way.
anybody who practices selective morality, whether you're a European Jew, whether you're a revolutionary Pan-Africanist, whether you're a socialist, a Christian, a Muslim, a Hebrew, selective morality is hypocrisy. Because what I'm saying, if envy...
And he's talking about selective morality. Yeah, that's the funny thing about it. He's the walking example of selective morality. Umar Johnson is the walking example of selective morality. What is he always talking about? What has he already said in this interview so far? He's already contradicted two things that he's talked about. How I'm not racist. I'm selective morality. That is a great fucking phrase. That's a great fucking term to define him. Selective morality. I might even make that the title of this fucking video.
does it, it's wrong. And he should be punished. If Charlemagne does it, it's okay. Amazon is still selling it. They have yet to be branded by the ADL or anybody else as anti-Semitic. That's hypocrisy.
Look, selective morality, slavery. I mean, not slavery. Selective morality is what he was talking about when it comes to the responsibility of slavery and of the slave trade. That's selective morality. Him making the school for saying that there's no requirements except for just being black. That's selective morality. And also segregation. Or I guess discrimination. Possibly both. Anyways.
They may have their internal differences, but at the end of the day, they all agree that black people must be kept in their place. The Kyrie and Kanye issue was more about suppressing free speech for heterosexual black males than it was about anti-Semitism or anything like that. Look at Tiffany Cross. She said something on your show. Mm-hmm. They cut her. They made Jalen Rose take back what he said about the fact the woman at the heart of the Ime Udoka scandal has never been exposed. She cheated on her husband. Why is Ime Udoka all over the media, but the white woman who cheated on her husband is not all over the media? It's
same reason why just 10 minutes ago you were sitting up here in the same damn interview bashing Ime Udoka and not bashing the woman that he was with. And saying that she was owned by another man. Oh, my God, man.
a double standard, and we are not calling out the double standard. If wrong is wrong, it should be wrong for everybody. This is not about right or wrong. This is about suppressing the First Amendment freedom of speech rights of heterosexual black males who do not endorse the European narrative. That's what it's
I'm
about.
not against any of that you said. The only thing I push back on is, man, I do not like seeing people prop up Kanye West, bro. Because Kanye West is the most anti-black Negro out here. And I do not like when people just...
Why do you say that? Why do you say he's so anti-black?
Look at him. Look at who he chooses to be with. And even when he had those billion-dollar companies, what was under the hood of those companies, Dr. Umar? Where was his black staff?
I agree.
Where was his black leadership?
I agree.
You know,
and that's why right now, as I just said a minute ago, I believe Kanye...
Didn't he have a church called Sunday Service? Saw a lot of black people in there. Just saying.
His agenda is what's best for Kanye. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's about what's best for black people until he shows me something else. Mm-hmm. I really believe he did what he did to get freed of them contracts because he has the brand and the platform and the status now where he could probably make his own sneakers and make his own music and probably sell as much, if not more than he did before.
You're giving that man way too much
credit.
credit.
I believe so. I believe so.
Well,
Kanye's big.
Well, let me ask you about Charlemagne's football team, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes.
And the owner, Jerry Jones.
Listen to this. Here's another example of selective morality. How is it Brett Favre, and I'm coming to Jerry, stole about $70 million of poor people's money from Mississippi to help his daughter's college build a volleyball field or something?
Well, it wasn't that much, though. It was a lot.
It was up there.
Yeah, it was millions. It was millions.
It wasn't 70?
It was
in
millions.
the doubles?
It was millions. It was multi-millions. But
Okay.
It wasn't 70. Yeah.
Anyhow, he don't get indicted. He don't get charged. No charges are being brought against Brett Favre. If a black man did the same thing, you and I know he gets crucified. Look at the double standard and the selective morality. Now let's come to Jerry Jones. This the same.
Which this has nothing to do with Jerry Jones, by the way. The Brett Favre situation and the Jerry Jones situation there's no similarities there at all. Just want to point that out. No similarities at all.
Same Jerry Jones who never hired a black coach. Same Jerry Jones during the Colin Kaepernick protest of 2016 said, if any of my players are caught, quote unquote, disrespecting the American flag by taking a knee, they not going to play on my team no more. This is that Jerry Jones.
I'm not going to say too much about the situation because I talked about the situation ad nauseum just a couple weeks ago. But if you guys do want to know my thoughts on this whole Jerry Jones situation, go back to the Contemporary Comrades episode that you can find right here on YouTube under Contemporary Comrades Podcast.
I don't think there's no defense for Jerry Jones.
And there's no
whatsoever.
defense for Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin defending him either. Let that white man speak for himself.
And I like what
Y'all don't take up for black people like that. Stephen A., you threw Kyrie under the bus. Shannon Sharp, you threw Kyrie under the bus. But soon when a white man messed up, and Shannon didn't defend Jerry Jones, but Stephen did, and Michael did. So when a white man make a mistake, every black man in sports media want to be defense attorney for white folks, but have no problem throwing black athletes under the bus.
And I like what Jay Williams said that,
shout out to Jay Williams.
Yeah, Jerry Jones should be forced to denounce anti-black racism.
And he hasn't.
And he should discuss what he's learned over the past 66
He ain't learned.
See, that's another thing too. Why are we looking for anybody to discuss? And this is what really irritates me, man. This is why I cannot wait for somebody to ask me for a fucking apology for something that I know damn well you don't need a goddamn apology for. Because why should he sit up there and then announce and tell the whole world how he's not racist? Prove to the world how he's not racist. Prove to us how you aren't racist. What? He was 14 years old, and I've said this ad nauseum before, so I'm not going to say too much about it, but look, he was 14. Dude's what, 80-something now or some shit like that? Like, yes, you can grow from that. I would hope you've learned a few things from the age of 14 to 84.
Nothing. He's a privileged white man. He's just as racist now as he was then. Listen, I've been studying psychology my whole life. I got a doctorate in it. I got 3
And he's still shitty at psychology, by the way. Studying psychology his whole life, and he's still shitty at it.
master's degrees in it. I got 2 certifications in it. You know what they tell you in psychology?
What's that?
That the human personality is largely fixed by the age of 5. 5. Jerry Jones was 14. If you're going to tell me that Jerry Jones is fundamentally a different person now at 80 than he was at 14, let me know what major critical life experiences Jerry Jones went through that transformed the way that he thinks. Nothing at all. People saying, well, we got to give him.
How do you know what he's been through? 14 years old to the age of 80. You're gonna confidently say, what has he been through? You're gonna tell me you haven't been through. You're gonna tell me that you've been through something fundamentally that has changed you, or you mean to tell me that you're gonna sit up here in this Breakfast Club interview, sweating like a pig, and yell at I'm about to call him Bernie Sanders. Yell at Jerry Jones about him not being able to be a fundamentally changed person from almost 70 years ago?
Credit. Dak Prescott talking about, look at his resume since then. Look at his resume since then, Dak Prescott. He ain't done nothing to help black folks, and Jerry Jones ain't thinking about helping black folks.
Except making a bunch of black folks millionaires. And he's hired black coaches before. Even if it's been 4, that's still hiring black coaches. You can't say he hasn't done shit. You can't say he hasn't hired any black coaches. Sorry, not sorry.
But I don't like when people say because he didn't hire a black coach, though. Because just because he hired a black coach don't mean anything.
I do agree. But at least it shows you are at least concerned about how racism looks on your resume. Jerry Jones.
Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. That's how people want you to think. That's how people want you to think. Even if it, you want it to look good on your resume. He wants Jerry Jones to be concerned at how racism looks on his resume. About what's the word for it? But basically what he's concerned with, or what Umar wants Jerry Jones to be concerned with, is the proportion. The proportion of black coaches that he's hired and non-black coaches that he's hired. So that's what he wants. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What y'all are asking of people is freaking ridiculous.
How many lashes should Charlamagne get for being a Cowboy fan still?
I like football.
Charlamagne,
You an Eagle fan? You like Eagles?
Nah, I'm not watching no football, no NBA no more. I'm done.
What?
I'm officially done, brother. We cannot be for the black liberation struggle and support white corporations and systems that systematically practice and defend white privilege and white racism against black people.
What about all those brothers that play the
Colin
sport?
Kaepernick, what about them? They just there to get it back. They not protesting. They not doing nothing. They not building.
Some of those brothers protest.
Okay.
Dr. Umar.
Okay. Show me a rich athlete who built a relevant, independent black institution in this country.
You still haven't done it. It took you forever to fucking do it, dummy Umar Johnson. What do you... Moving the goalposts, man. Why do niggas do this so much? Why do people do this so much? Why do people move the goalpost so freaking much? I don't understand it. Charlamagne just told him. He just asked him. He said, fam, what about the black players that are still in the NBA and NFL? And look, I'm right there with Umar Johnson when it comes to, at least with the NBA. I still watch football, obviously. I'm never going to stop watching football. But NBA, I mean, I've just never really been a big NBA fan as an adult anyways. As it started getting more political and shit, I just got away from it. So NBA, I don't really fuck with anyways. And especially after this whole Kyrie thing, it's just like, fam, really? You're going to suspend him for 5 games for that? After that, I was like, I can't support that shit no more. Not that I did before anyways. Not that I was going to any NBA games before anyways. So I don't really give a fuck. But when Charlamagne's going to say there's black players in the NFL, there's black players in the NBA, and you're still not going to watch, you're still not going to support them, tell me how many of them built the school. Tell me how many of them built the institution for black-only people. What? I'm like, bruh. That's what I'm saying, man. Hey, you put on a suit. You wear your hair all crazy. You wear a beard with no lineup. At least not evened out. Some of it's gray, some of it's not. And you can just say whatever the fuck you want. You put doctor in front of your name, you can just say whatever the fuck you want. And people will give you money. It's ridiculous out here, man. It's a whole fucking circus out here.
Give me one. And let me tell you what they are. Independent school. Don't give me no charter school. Charter schools are public schools. Don't give me no charter school.
James in the school he built?
That is a public school,
It is,
MD.
but
It has his name on it.
But you know LeBron speaks up for black issues.
I didn't ask you about speaking. Let me go back to my question. My question was, name me a black celebrity or entertainer who has built a relevant, independent black institution.
But is that,
school,
I agree, but
bank,
but is that the
supermarket,
that's the one,
hospital,
that's all that
manufacturing, It's the heart of a community, Charlamagne. Take care of the major problems we got. Just because LeBron James got in front of a microphone and undid what he did a few weeks ago, and I want to give LeBron some props. I appreciated his comments about
LeBron
Jerry Jones and comparing that to the way in which they tried to castrate Kyrie. Shout out to LeBron. But now LeBron,
no, that was a terrible fucking
Sharp
comparison. Just like the same comparison you just tried to give in with Brett Favre and Jerry Jones. Dumb ass.
Stephen A. And right after you do something positive or say something good, you take it back by going right back to the Django character. You understand? He got to be consistent. Speech is not enough when you're worth billions. To whom much is given, Envy, much is expected. If you a billionaire talking,
So how can y'all co-sign Kanye so much? He don't do that. Kanye does not pour back into the black people.
Kanye spoke a significant truth to a significant white power
But he don't pour
that
back into
controls
black people.
I agree. I just
LeBron
said
didn't
that.
have infrastructures full of black people making
I'm gonna
capital.
ask you again. What institution that's relevant has been built by a black athlete or celebrity this century? I need an answer.
But you just mean school banking and that's what you mean.
Relevant.
Okay.
LeBron James started a movement against voter disenfranchisement. Walk through the streets of Brooklyn, walk through the streets of Harlem, walk through the streets of the Bronx, walk through the streets of Queens, walk through the streets of Staten Island, and ask black people, what are the top 5 problems black people have in America? I promise you, voter suppression ain't one. Voter.
That's true. That's true. That part is true.
Suppression ain't one. Come on, y'all. If we want to solve our problems, we got to get serious. And black athletes have been cooning for far too long.
I know
I think you being hard
They're
on some
more
of them brothers,
concerned about money
I know
than making a difference.
I know we got to go, but Deion.
That's also true. But at the same time, Umar is also cooning hard, and he has been for decades.
Deion Sanders, you were talking about Deion Sanders.
Deion.
What's your thoughts on Deion
Everybody
Sanders?
been texting me about this all week.
Talk to me about Deion, Dr. Umar.
Mind you, before you get into it, Charlemagne gave Donkey today to people that would criticize him.
I know.
That's right.
And I'm coming right at it.
Let's go. Let's go.
I'm coming right at it.
Let's go.
More lashes.
I'm coming right at more lashes. When Deion Sanders stood against Colin Kaepernick's protest in 2016, I branded him a Negro peon.
He did?
Yes, he did. He said he did. I saw him say it out his mouth on an interview. He said he should not have taken that knee. It was wrong. Deion Sanders. I put him in the Negro peon camp.
Never mind.
He didn't stand with Colin Kaepernick. When I heard Deion Sanders was taking the job, I said, okay, I'm going to give him his black pass back. Because here you are, one of the top 5 greatest athletes, arguably the greatest football player ever, including Tom Brady. Deion could go down as greater than. You go to Jackson State, HBCU. That's impressive. Now I hear all of a sudden you might be leaving.
Well,
So
he's leaving.
Oh, he's gone.
He's going. Stay with me. He's wrong. But I have 2 levels of wrong. I got a low level and I got a high. I'll explain them to you quickly. My low level. If Deion told the administration and the students and the players at Jackson State that I'm taking this job, but I need y'all to know, if something better comes along, as soon as it comes along, I may be leaving you.
He did say that.
He said that.
If he was that transparent, I didn't see that.
I played the clip the other day. He said it on 60 Minutes. He said that.
No, he said he may be leaving. He did not say.
I'm going to let y'all know right now, for y'all that don't watch college football or don't, follow it, no coach is going to do that. No coach can really do that, because that's just basically saying, hey, guys, when I take this job, don't take it seriously. Don't believe in any fucking word I'm saying, because I could be out any point in time. College athletes should already know that their coach is not going to last that long, especially if they're super successful. So at Jackson State, it was only going to be a matter of time before Deion was going to leave. Not for the money, but to help build bigger schools, to help get onto the grandest stage. Colorado is a job where Deion Sanders could easily be there for 20 years, because it's not about the money. He could build a culture there for 20 plus years and retire multiple. Now, I'm not saying that is going to happen. It'd be kind of cool to see, though. And that's what we hope to see. That's what I feel like, not just black people, but since we're talking about black people, that's what the black people, the HBCU fans, should be looking for and hoping for as well. It's when somebody moves on and they move on to something bigger, something better, pause, you should be happy for them. That's just me. But yeah, he's not going to come out and say, oh yeah, dude, that should go without saying. Any college head coach, any college coach period, any coach period should know if an offer comes along, they're going to have to, and what Deion said in quote, entertain it. And in this case, Deion did everything he needed to do. They went undefeated. What better can you do than going undefeated? Tell me.
He was leaving after 3 years.
No, he said that if a Power 5 school comes along,
yes.
I have to entertain it. I would be a fool not to. And Deion has
That's
always
not
been
the same.
No, Deion has always been transparent and open about what his goals were.
That is not, no, I disagree with you. He told them if it comes his way, he would have to entertain it. He never said I would leave you that soon. He never said I can be gone in 3 years.
What does it matter, though? His contract was
I'm
only
going to
for
tell you
4.
why it matters. I'm about to tell you right now why it matters. Because he damn wrong. Now, if he told them, if I'm going to go back and study some more, but from what I seen him say, he was not that direct. But
Definitely
if he was, and that's not what I saw, so we disagree there. But if he was, he's still wrong, but it's a low level because at least you was transparent and you gave him informed consent. They knew you could leave at any time.
That's right.
Okay? Still wrong. I'm going to explain in a minute. Now, if he didn't tell them that, okay, and I'm hearing from people who know athletes on that team that they were not told it that way.
They weren't listening.
And they're upset.
Because he said that on 60 Minutes.
Okay? He didn't say it that way, Charlamagne. I saw that.
He did. That's an
not.
exact
No,
quote.
he didn't.
Exact
now,
quote.
if he did not do it that way, that automatically means that Deion Sanders used, abused, and exploited HBCU Jackson State just to be given an opportunity to show predominantly white institutions that he could coach.
Oh, hell no, man. First of all, we know Deion Sanders ain't coaching a damn thing. We know that he can character build. We know that he's a good, stern father figure, and he's a good role model and a good influence. I'm not saying, look, there's obviously things that you can disagree with. I ain't getting all the shit to Deion Sanders. We know Deion Sanders does some fuck shit too. He's done some narrative pushing too. Everybody does it. That doesn't mean that he's a terrible he's the worst fucking human being. What I'm saying is that he proved that he can get a group of 22 guys together, and more actually, and have them come together as a team and believe that they can win and play some fucking football. And not just that. We know the kind of role model that he is. We know the kind of influencer that he is. We know that his knowledge when it comes to the game of football, especially when it comes to defense. I'm not here to sit down and defend Deion Sanders again. But what I am going to say is that he did not do anything that no other coach, especially when it comes to HBCUs, would do. Or he didn't do anything that they wouldn't do.
He only used them as a stepping stone to getting a job at a white college. He was dead wrong. Now, let me tell y'all why this is bigger than football. What case is the Supreme Court reviewing right now?
The
right now,
action case against black. What is it for black students in colleges?
Absolutely. The U.S. Supreme Court right now is reviewing whether or not racially conscious admissions in higher education are unconstitutional. And guess who is bringing the suit? Asians. But guess who's funding the suit? White people with connections to the 6 conservative justices on the United States Supreme Court bench. So, what they're saying is Asians are discriminated against on the basis of the personality aspect of the admissions process at Harvard and the University of North Carolina, among other universities, by subjecting Asians to that personality assessment, which includes personality, background, social economic status, culture, this, that, who you are, what you want to be. Asians are being penalized for the high test scores and grades. So what the Asians want and what the white folks who are funding the Asians want is they want the Supreme Court to say you cannot include race at all as a factor in higher education admissions. If they throw that out, if they say Harvard cannot use the personality assessment portion of the admissions process, the percentage of Asians that get accepted into PWIs goes up by 20%, and the percentage of black students will plummet by at least 50%.
False. Why will it plummet? I want to know. Please tell me, Umar. Because what exactly are you saying? If they take away the personality portion of the admissions, the admissions process, admissions tests, or whatever thing that they have to do? Please tell me. What exactly do you mean by that?
You know what that means? You are watching the gentrification of black children off of the PWI campus. How is this relevant to Deion Sanders? The reason I'm so personally disappointed in Deion is I thought he was there for a movement, not for money. Meaning, Deion Sanders.
People like Umar are still not getting it. He clearly was not there for money. He was there to make a difference. And in fact, he used some of his own salary to help build a facility, to help feed his players, to help house his players.
Is the coach of Jackson State. I foresaw a situation.
Oh, and to get them more gear, and to get them better gear. They had new uniforms every game.
Where Deion would hire other coaches, other retired black NFL greats to coach other HBCUs. In doing so, you attract our top tier high school athletes to come to HBCU.
Maybe.
Stay with me.
Eddie George is at Tennessee
Stay
State.
with me. Stay with me. Football and back. You know, like I know,
that.
if you got top tier NFL greats.
Eddie George, who went to Ohio State, running back at Ohio State, is a head coach of an HBCU. And I was going to say this because it was another one at Grambling State as well. It was, I believe, another former NFL player that was a head coach at Grambling State. And during that time, nobody was talking about Eddie George. Nobody was talking about the dude at Grambling State. Everybody was talking about Deion, which is fine because Deion's Deion. But now they're gonna say, oh, we were all relying on Deion. If I'm a head coach, if I'm any kind of coach at any of these HBCUs, I'm like, what the fuck? Do we not matter?
Coaching HBCUs, the athletes are coming just like they was coming for Deion. He showed you, Charlamagne.
Deion, though.
He showed
Dr.
you.
Umar.
And his other one's just
Deion's
as
one of the
great.
most famous people ever.
And his other one's just as great. So listen.
Eddie George at Tennessee State.
That's one person. We talking about a system, not an individual. So Deion and these other coaches bring all these athletes from high school to play football, basketball, so forth. The revenue of the HBCU goes up, Envy. As a result of the revenue going up, Charlamagne, the schools got more money. They don't have to subject themselves to closure. They don't have to subject themselves to being dependent on white money. You got HBCUs at risk of being closed. I read something that said almost a half of them. A half may not survive the decade. So this was bigger than football. This was about the survival of the HBCU.
It's bigger than Deion,
especially
though, Dr. Umar.
One man's not going to change that. One man is not going to change them shits from closing down. He made his difference. Now it's time for somebody else to step up to the plate. If they're going to do it. Maybe, just maybe, we can treat all colleges the same. And anybody can come in. Now, I understand the whole HBCU aspect thing. I understand the whole HBCU idea. I'm not that dumb. I understand why they were made. But we now live in 2022. So, I mean, are they going to be able to pull an Umar and go outside of their society, outside of their communities, to help keep them open?
No,
Yes,
no,
it is. I think
no. Stop trying
you're blaming an individual.
Stop trying to give celebrities a pass, Charlamagne.
No, you're blaming an individual
I'm not
instead of
blaming
talking about
him.
the issue.
I'm blaming black men for not being men.
But you know what?
I'm blaming us for not being men. That was an unmanly move.
Can you admit one thing?
Deion could have went down in history,
Are
brother.
HBCUs chronically underfunded?
Of course.
Were they chronically underfunded before Deion?
Yes.
Yes.
Will they be chronically underfunded after Deion?
Yes.
Absolutely.
What are those reasons that they're chronically underfunded?
We don't get
Because
back.
we as black men.
See, Charlamagne is making me look. I'm never gonna be a fan of Charlamagne, but he's asking the right questions. We start to see Charlamagne now. He's still always gonna be a clown to me, but we are gonna see a little bit of a face turn. Charlamagne is having a face turn right now, and I think it took this crazy ass lunatic and dummy Umar Johnson to give Charlamagne his face turn. It was the same thing that happened when Daniel Bryan and The Miz faced years ago. Daniel Bryan came back from his injury, and he had this heel turn. And Daniel Bryan, a.k.a. Umar Johnson, being the heel, kind of gave The Miz just a little bit. It didn't last long. Just like this with Charlemagne, it's not going to last long. But kind of gave The Miz, a.k.a. Charlemagne, a little bit of a face turn. And it was glorious to see. Just like this, it's glorious to see. He's bringing in the right kind of questions and the right kind of rebuttals. Not enough of them, but when he does rebuttal, he's bringing in the good ones. Pause.
Have not come together to create the funding source to make sure they survive. I don't want to hear about the government. We have too many wealthy blacks. Y'all interview them every day.
I'm with you. So you got low alumni donors,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Low endowments.
Correct.
That's a us problem.
He part of us. Why you keep exempting celebrities?
But he's one
They're not
person.
better than us.
He's one person.
Okay, but the point is that one man could have been a catalyst for a movement that would have revolutionized the survival of HBCUs.
But why does the movement stop just because he left? HBCUs gonna still be here.
You're missing the point.
No,
The
HBCUs gonna
abolition
still be
wasn't
here.
just about Frederick Douglass. But if Frederick Douglass would have pulled out, it would have hurt it. The Underground Railroad wasn't just about Harriet, but if she would have pulled out, it would have failed.
So what was the
civil
HBCU
rights movement
movement
wasn't
before
just about
Dion?
King.
Before Dion 3 years ago, what was
They
the
were
HBCU
struggling, and he could have helped save it. And for him to pull out of Jackson State the way that he did it before making sure the HBCU system survived, to me was selfish. He chose money over the movement, Charlemagne, and celebrities do it all the time, and y'all want to give him a pass. Nobody get no pass.
That's
I don't
very
care
unfair
who
to say.
Deion Sanders is. He had a chance to help, and he hurt, and y'all want to condone that because you black celebrities are not committed to the best interests of black
Well, let
people.
me ask you a question.
More
Let me ask you a question.
national
When Dion was coaching,
He said that Dion hurt more than he helped. You cannot make this shit up. You cannot make this shit up, man.
high school kids for several years, you know, when he
We
was...
ain't talking about that. We're talking about survival of HBCU.
I'm going to get there. When he was coaching high school kids for several years, you know, black kids, when he was opening up Prime Prep Academy that got closed down because they had financial issues, when he went to Jackson State for $1.2 million for 4 years and said, you know what, y'all
He didn't even stay for 4 years.
But listen, y'all take half this salary and go
$600,000 back
build
into
a better
a facility.
relax, go build a better facility for students, and he got to pay back $300,000.
And after all that, I'm still going to leave Jackson State for a super white college that got a 1.6 black student
But you ain't let me finish my point.
rate. No,
How can
no,
you-
wait.
how can you say he's about-
1.6 black students.
This is what they do, man. They yell to try and get their fucking point across because he lost. He know he has no fucking leg to stand on at this point. That's what he's doing. He's sitting here yelling because he has no leg to stand on. Talking over Charlemagne. Now talking about the percentage of blacks that go to Colorado.
Which means the only blacks on that campus are the athletes, and you're going to tell me that that's a step up? You sold us out for money, bro.
How can you say it's about money when when his track record shows
He stayed
don't
for
pour
3
into
years.
kids
That
for
was
money?
no commitment. His track record shows that if white people give me the money, I'll turn my back on the HBCU
I disagree,
system.
Dr. Umar.
What are you talking about? That's what he did.
I disagree.
That's what he just did.
Thank you, Charlemagne, because I disagree as well. Freaking retarded. Freaking retarded argument.
I disagree.
Come on, man. If he would have stayed there, if Dion would have stayed there, like I said, he could have brought other black coaches in, former NFL greats. They would have raised the revenue of the HBCU, which is so critical now. Why? Because the Asians are being financed by white folks to kick what little blacks are left on the PWI campus off. So that means the critical importance of the...
That's not going to kick him off, though. That's not going to kick him off. Look, I don't have too much to talk about when it comes to this stuff, but I will say this. That's not going to kick them off of campus. If you take away the whole personality shit or whatever the fuck they're talking about when it comes to admissions, and we're only using the example that he used with Harvard, I'm guessing. If they take that away, there's no telling what race anybody is getting in. It's going purely off of, are you qualified or are you not? Period. But apparently Umar has a fucking problem with that. Of course he does. But why does he have, what is the real reason he has a problem with it? We'll never know. He'll never say it out loud because he knows he sounds like a fucking dumbass if he does.
HBCU is greater now than it's ever been. So for Deion to pull this right now makes it even worse because you're leaving the HBCU system when you had a chance
how many
to say,
lashes for Deion?
stop trying to exempt black celebrities from accountability to the race. Celebrities are not above accountability. Stop,
I agree.
Charlamagne.
So how many lashes?
Stop.
How many lashes for Deion?
50,000 lashes for Deion.
Now, no. Shut up. More important question. How much you? No. How much you gonna donate to an HBCU today?
I'm building 2 independents.
There we go. And what's his
The
answer?
first in his history.
No doubt, but those aren't HBCUs.
Whoa.
We still got, if you're gonna be that passionate about HBCUs, how much you gonna donate to an
trying to exempt black celebrities from accountability to the race.
How much you gonna donate to an HBCU today?
I'm building 2 independent schools. The first in his history.
No doubt, but those aren't HBCUs.
Whoa.
We still got, if you're gonna be that passionate.
Excuses. How much you gonna donate to HBCUs? You talking all this shit?
About HBCUs, how much you gonna donate to an HBCU
Let me answer
today?
your question. May I?
Yes.
First of all, I'm not a multi-millionaire. Second
Oh my God, man.
of all,
Why you gotta be a
can I
multi-millionaire
finish
to
my
donate?
question?
The
Can I finish my question? I donate to
moving
HBCUs on a regular basis.
Okay.
I do. But my point is, I'm focused on destroying the school-to-prison pipeline. I'm building 2 independent schools from the
I
ground.
applaud you for that.
Black money. Nobody you've interviewed in this studio ever is doing that. Not one of them. You understand me? So I'm doing my part, and that's why I can expect Deion Sanders to do his part. And that's why lashes also go to Shannon Sharp. Because Shannon Sharp on national television said he didn't even want to go to a HBCU. He wanted to go to a PWI. And every time celebrities try to do something good, black people want to beat them up. I beg your pardon, Shannon Sharp. I know that you don't date black women. You have no loyalty to black women. Now you want to tell the world you have no loyalty to the HBCU. If you didn't want to go to Savannah State, you keep that to yourself, you Negropean. You don't tell the whole world that you didn't want to go to a HBCU and then try to chide the black community for asking Deion Sanders to have a little commitment.
With all that said, Dr. Umar, what do we do for HBCUs moving forward? Because Deion gone, but HBCUs gonna still be here.
I just told you, black celebrities have to come together, stop buying chains, stop going to clubs and strip joints, stop with all the expensive clothing, stop cooning, and use some of this disposable income that we spend it on Christmas gifts right now and come up with a funding source. So many celebrities went to HBC.
I agree. However, we can't tell people what to do with their own fucking money. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. You're gonna sit up here, get all sweaty, and preach all your hypocrisy and your racism and shit like that. But then at the end of the day, when somebody asks, "Well, how much you gonna put into HBCU?" I'm building my own. Yeah, but how long is it taking you to build your own shit? And you just sat up here an hour ago, just started complaining about having to go outside of your own community to get your own school built.
Why can't they be the catalyst of a black celebrity and grassroots? Because we should be paying too.
Absolutely.
Movement to finance this. I'm simply saying Deion could have been the face of that and was beginning to be, and he allowed himself to get bought out by a white
But
university.
he left the blueprint.
That's it. I don't want to hear about no
He
blueprint.
left the blueprint.
That's like Harriet Tubman saying, I'm not going to help you on the Underground Railroad. I'm going to lead the blueprint. Marcus Garvey, I'm not going to help you with the independence movement.
take the
I'm going to
map.
lead you the blueprint. That's cowardliness, man.
I'm not putting that all on
cowardliness.
Deion because there's enough of us that can keep these programs sustained if we do what we're supposed to do.
Okay, but
We don't need. I'm gonna say this right here before we get out of here, man. We don't need celebrities to do shit. I feel like in order for we need people with money, yeah, people with influence, maybe. And yes, do celebrities to a certain extent have the influence? Yes. But at the same time, we need to stop relying on people that are just getting theirs. Because what we're doing at that point, when you start relying on other people, when you start relying on people that are getting theirs, and by getting theirs, I mean getting their money and chilling, or getting their money, or progressing their own careers or whatever, is when you start relying and looking for a handout as a community from people with money that come from your community. That's where you start ending up with the shit brains of the dummy Umar Johnsons. How do we fix HBCUs? The celebrities, instead of going to the clubs and going to which to an extent, you're right. But who are we to tell somebody how not to spend their own fucking money that they worked hard for? Or that they sold their soul for? Who are we? So how about, yes, that like I said, money, you're going to need it, yes, to keep these schools afloat because it is a college, it is a school. That's just a part of being a college, period. But to blame the black community in general, to blame celebrities in general, to blame Deion specifically as an individual, and yes, he did leave the blueprint. That's all he needed to do. But anyways, man, I know these videos are longer than they're supposed to be. I know that this was a much longer interview. I'm going to have to chop this up in a couple parts. But look, man, I gave my opinion on Dr. Umar. I just want to show y'all just how clownish this dude really is. Hey, I mean, let me know in the comments, am I overreacting? Hit that like, hit that subscribe, all that good stuff. It's your boy Corn. It's Half-Ass Pod. And ladies and gentlemen, I am